Could take the roll, please?
Commissioner Look.
Here.
Commissioner Brastad.
Here.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Here.
Commissioner Gamache.
Here.
Commissioner Schulte.
Here.
Okay, we have tax claims and abatements. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Okay, we have, the motion carries. We have the review of checks issued from Finance and Central Services
I'll move
and from
it.
Human Services. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We have the approval of the minutes from our February 17th county board meeting. Is there a motion to
So moved.
approve?
Second.
Further discussion, additions, or corrections? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next, under Chair's remarks today, we have one item, and for more than 20 years, the Anoka County has been part of a collaboration to keep kids on track, even though their home lives may have derailed. They may struggle in school, they may get in trouble with the law, or all of the above. Typically, those behaviors surface because of the way those kids feel about themselves inside, and many times it's because of the surroundings in which they're living. Youth First works to change that from the inside out. I'd like to ask Commissioner Matt Look to introduce these guests.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've had the honor of serving on Youth First for as a volunteer and a board member for the last few years. And I've witnessed firsthand the power that this organization has in the lives of kids who are barely just getting by. Often there's chaos in their lives, and this organization truly changes lives one child at a time. Youth First believes that every child matters, and they work to prove that to the kids through dedicated staff and programs and give kids the attention that they deserve. Executive Director Amanda Sapa is here today to talk with us about program success and new directions, and also a special event this week, and I'd like to ask her to come forward to say a few words.
Welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am Amanda Sapa, Executive Director of Youth First Community of Promise. Thank you for allowing me to join you today. Youth First is doing some amazing things with the youth in Anoka County, and I'm excited to share with you our work. Youth First's mission is to actively engage youth, their families, and the community to ensure that youth have access to 5 fundamental promises they need to succeed: caring adults, safe places, a healthy start, effective education, and opportunities to give back. We accomplish this mission by providing core programs and assistive services in our 3 partner cities. Our core programs include after-school homework help, summer and school release day programming, movie nights, basketball outings, and family clubs. Our assistive services include crisis counseling, advocacy, help finding employment, housing, medical and dental resources, and applying for college and financial aid. Youth First recently underwent a restructure. Positions have changed to more closely align with the functions our youth need. I was hired as the Executive Director, and we're currently searching for additional staff members to join our team to work hands-on with our kids. We believe this restructure will enable us to better serve our communities for years to come. We are currently operating programs in each of our partner cities. In Anoka, we are offering after-school programming 2 days a week at the Anoka High School. We're seeing as many as 40 youth per day at that program. Our youth advocate is on hand to talk to kids about their grades, help with assignments, or help problem solve any life challenges that the kids might be facing. We also have a volunteer who is a specialist in math and science. The kids line up to hang out with Mike every day. Our youth advocate provides assistive services during the day to the ESL classes at Anoka High School as well. Many of our program participants are in ESL, and this provides a way for our staff to connect with the students and their teachers to ensure their success. In Ramsey, we are also offering after-school programming at our Ramsey Center 2 days per week. This program is open to both middle school and high school age students. We help with homework, provide access to technology that many of these students lack at home, and provide a safe place to hang out with friends. At the Ramsey Center, we're also conducting a special life skills training course 1 evening per week for high school students. This is an opportunity for students who will be entering college or the workforce soon to gain some additional skills. In Andover, we were recently able to start programming at the Oakview Middle School. This small program is growing every day, and we're excited to see the progress of our students here. I'd like to share with you just a brief story about one of those kids. A young lady named Hope has been coming after school every day that we're there. Our staff member asked Hope about her grades and if there was any homework that we could help with. At first, I think Hope was a little taken aback that the staff member asked about her grades, thinking to herself, why does this person care? The simple answer is because we should. We're there to help students succeed and hold them accountable for their own success. That's a big part of what our program is. Needless to say, Hope's grades weren't great that first time that she pulled them up for us. She basically had a D average. The message our staff member delivered wasn't judgmental or demeaning, but was very straight to the point. You can do better, and I'm going to help you. Recently, Hope's math teacher has come up to her and pulled her out into the hallway during class and asked her, I've seen a lot of improvement in your grades lately. You're turning things in. You seem like you're more committed. What's changed? And Hope's response was, I'm going to Youth First after school. Stories like this is exactly why Youth First is so committed to these kids. They have the potential to do great things. They just need someone to stand beside them, encourage them, and believe in them, and especially when they struggle to believe in themselves. Hope now has a solid B average and is more committed than she's ever been. I'm excited to see where her grades end up this trimester because I'm pretty sure we can get some A's on that report card. Youth First truly would not be what it is without the support of our partners. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the commissioners, Anoka County, our partner cities, and the Anoka Hennepin School District for supporting Youth First mission. We have an exciting event coming up this week. On Friday, March 13th, is our 21st annual Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. The mayors of our partner cities host this event each year to show their continued support of Youth First. At this year's event, we are honored to have Dr. Charlene Mickelbust presenting on how poverty impacts student learning and mental health. Poverty is a real challenge that many of our youth face, and it's important that we as a community have a better understanding of how it impacts them. Tickets are still available for the event and can be purchased through our website or by contacting Youth First directly. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for the incredible work that you do. And this is always a wonderful event, so I would encourage folks to sign up and go. And it sounds like a wonderful speaker as well. So if you haven't attended before, it's something you definitely do not want to miss. Commissioner Cordia.
Madam Chair, thank you. Appreciate your comments. I feel a little bit set up, though. Of your many success cases, you picked Hope to talk to us about.
I know, pretty ironic, isn't
Hopefully,
it?
Hope is doing very well. Thank you.
She is, thank you.
As well as the others. Thank you.
Commissioner Look.
Madam Chair, thank you. I just wanted to comment. I think I've attended every single Mayor's Prayer Breakfast for the last number of years. I'm not going to be in town this year, so I'm missing this, and I'm very saddened about this. I know one of the speakers covered the topic of how as children develop, the logic part of their brain develops after the emotional part of their brain, and you often say, well, why are they behaving this way? Why are they emotional like this? Well, it's because that's the design. And so it's very informative. I'm sure this speaker will be very informative as well. Really, some of the success stories are, some of these kids that, their trajectory is in the wrong direction. They're going the wrong direction, but by helping to point them, some of them are going to be diesel mechanics now, and I think that's a very high-paying job. I mean, to give them these nudges to encourage them along, I think is absolutely imperative. But I did want to comment about Amanda. You're new to the board, so you're about a year now, maybe?
6 months.
6 months, okay, 6 months. Very professional. She keeps all the board members kind of connected and like herding cats a little bit, but keeps us on task, and she's doing an excellent job, and she brings, I think, this organization to a new level, so I want to thank her for that.
Thank you, Commissioner Look.
Fantastic. Well, look forward to this Friday's breakfast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will move on to Management Committee, and we have one item. And the first item is, the Management Committee recommends the county board enter into contract C0004103 with Preferred Benefit Concepts in Eden Prairie for health insurance, self-insurance study consulting services in an amount not to exceed $36,000 with a 100% service guarantee. Is there a motion to?
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak. Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Motion carries, and the rest of the items are for informational purposes only. I will turn it over to Commissioner Schulte for the Transportation Committee report, and I know he also has a Chair Committee report.
I do. Thank you, Madam Chair. We've got 4 specific action items here, followed by that additional you spoke of. First, the committee recommends approval of a resolution of a negative declaration on the need for an environmental impact statement and adopt the findings of fact and conclusions for the reconstruction of Main Street between Radisson Road and Harper Street in the city of Blaine.
Is there a motion to approve or an offer of the resolution?
I'll offer that.
Resolution has been offered by Commissioner Brassad. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Okay, and the next 3 items will all require authorizing the chair and the county board and the county administrator to execute the agreement, subject to review by the county attorney to form in legality. So I won't repeat that for all 3 of these, but I will tell you, the next one is the committee recommends approval of a resolution entering into a contract with MnDOT on a cooperative construction agreement. And then that's for Highway 10 and Armstrong at the interchange.
Is there an offer of the resolution?
I'll offer it.
Resolution's been offered by Commissioner Look. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
Item 3, the committee recommends approval of a resolution, which is a memorandum of understanding between Rice Creek Watershed District, the city of Columbus, and Anoka County for the reconstruction of Broadway Avenue and Kettle River Boulevard intersection to a roundabout in the city of Columbus, authorizing the chair and county administrator.
And I will offer the resolution. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
And item 4, the committee recommends approval to enter into a joint powers agreement with the city of Anoka for the inspection and maintenance of traffic control signals at the intersection of Bunker Lake Boulevard and Castlefield Drive in the city of Anoka.
Is there an offer of the resolution?
I'll offer it.
Resolution's been offered by Commissioner Look. Further discussion?
I just have a quick question, I'm not sure.
Commissioner Gamache.
I know this is, I think they called it on here something regarding Castlefield Drive, and maybe this is for Doug. So Castlefield Drive that they currently, I'm not even sure if they call it that, but that comes out near the library off 6th Avenue, they're gonna close that? Or are they gonna leave that one open too?
Doug?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Gamache, County Board members, my name is Doug Fisher. I'm Transportation Division Manager for Anoka County. The access at the library is going to remain as is. So the signal is in place right now. And on this drawing, you don't see the Castlefield Drive extension, but it is there. The signal is operating, and no further changes at the library access.
Okay, Madam Chair, just for
Yes.
clarification, that's a right-in, right-out on the Anoka High School side?
On the Anoka High School side, yes,
Thank you.
it's a right in, right out.
Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries.
And Madam Chair, I want to touch on a couple things on the informational items. First, that we did approve of a name change for the Anoka County Volunteer Transportation Program. Will now be referred to as Anoka County MedLink. Much more describes what it does not so much the people doing it. And we think it was a good change, and so that will be implemented as time moves on. And then one other item under highway, we recommended approval of the new advertising for bid procedure for transportation projects as allowed by state law. But we won't go through with that, or we won't finalize that until our organizational meeting in 2016. And that concludes the informational part, and if it pleases the chair, I'll move back to the additional item.
That would be great.
Okay, we have a chair's report. This is, I recommend approval of a resolution 2015-TR07, a resolution of support for a funding proposal for the Highway 10 corridor reconstruction. You see the resolution before you, and I would offer the resolution.
Okay, the resolution has been offered, and would you like to describe, Doug, what this entails?
Thank you, Madam Chair. What we're doing with this resolution is essentially offering up to the state of Minnesota, in particular the Minnesota Department of Transportation, an option of financing the continuing improvements of Highway 10 in the cities of Anoka and Ramsey. Even with the completion of the Armstrong Boulevard interchange, there's originally remove the remaining 4 at-grade signalized crossings. Originally, we had a price tag of about $300 million to convert this section of highway from expressway to freeway. With the recently completed Highway 10 access planning study, using some innovative and more cost-effective interchange types and access controls, we're able to drop that down to less than half of that cost. So we're looking at about $123 million price tag now to convert and remove those 4 remaining signals. That is great news. We reduced the project cost by over half. Unfortunately, if we don't keep moving forward with those improvements, we're going to lose all of that savings to interest. The construction cost inflation is ramping up again. The economy's coming back, and we're going to see higher and higher costs. The state of Minnesota, we do have some legislation introduced to do some bonding for this, although the state, especially MnDOT and their trunk highway bonding, is near the capacity that they already have, so they may not be able to absorb anymore. So what we're offering in exchange for repayment of principal, interest, and costs that we, under the right circumstances, would be able to offer bonding on behalf of the state to keep these projects moving forward. Again, we'd have to structure it in a way that would be safe for Anoka County, but at the same time offer a way to keep these projects moving forward at the lowest possible cost at the shortest time frame.
Okay.
Madam
Commissioner
Chair.
Cook.
I'd like to comment that I am fully supportive of this. I find this to be a creative form of funding. I think anywhere you go today, as resources are limited, anytime you can find creative funding scenarios, people are excited about that. Just recently, we were awarded a $10 million Tiger grant for the Armstrong interchange, and there was Amy Klobuchar, as well as Senator Klobuchar, as well as many other people were very instrumental in getting that done, and we're very thankful for that. The project, as it sits now, as Doug had indicated, at the $122 million, the annual burn rate, shall we say, the inflation rate on this, is $6.1 million. So in short order, you can see how a $10 million Tiger grant gets evaporated with construction inflation. So I think time is somewhat of the essence to initiate these projects, get these projects in process and going. Highway 10 is a dangerous highway. We have 4 to 5 times more accidents on Highway 10 than any other similarly volumed highway in the state of Minnesota. Recently, there was, in terms of the accidents, and some unfortunately are fatalities. They were from Arizona, they were from White Bear Lake, they were from other areas besides Anoka County. I think it's evidence of the fact that Highway 10 is not an Anoka County highway. It's a state highway, and everyone uses it, whether they're going to the cabin, whether they're commuting to work, or whatever the issue is. I found that somewhat interesting because I would have assumed that maybe more Anoka County people were involved in accidents than would be outside Anoka County. But I think I finally come to the realization that we've evolved to understand the problem here, and we take the backage roads. We know how to get around and not, put ourselves, in harm's way down the corridor here. And so I think it's an imperative situation that the state and MnDOT and everybody realize that anybody traveling this roadway is at risk, more so than anywhere else in the state, and that with the cost savings and the possible partnership we can have with MnDOT here, that we can advance this project, get it done, save money, save lives. It's a win-win situation, so I'm fully supportive of it.
Thank you. Commissioner Kordiak?
Madam Chair, after we leave this item, before we leave transportation.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I would just like to comment on this item that, to me, this is the difference maker. This is the differential from every other highway project that's being presented at the Capitol. And goodness knows, there are a lot of projects being presented. And the senators and legislators that look at this need something to jump out at. And this, I think, is our difference maker. I think this could help advance Highway 10 much quicker. And I'm excited to offer the resolution.
Right. Fantastic. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Commissioner Kordiak.
I thank you, Madam Chair. The question might ask of Commissioner Schulte or Mr. Fisher is on item 6. We're changing the advertising process for bidding. What is the change? Can you just comment on what you're moving to from or how you're restructuring things?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Kordiak, the change is that in lieu of putting transportation construction bids in a newspaper of record, if at the beginning of the year when we are setting up our legal newspapers, if we declare that our website is going to, for transportation projects only, the website is the official platform for advertising transportation projects, construction projects. And so, again, because the contractors that are seeking out our work and trying to bid our work aren't necessarily looking at the local official newspapers. They use other platforms, other services to find our ads and to bid on our projects. And so this would just allow our website to be the official advertising platform for transportation projects.
And Commissioner Kordiak, this was a change in state statute that was effective, I believe, July or August. And so it would allow us to change that process for next year. And I believe that Doug indicated that it ends up being about $2,000 per project on average that would be saved.
Madam Chair, was a change specifically for highway projects? Because we bid so many things, and they're typically multi-million-dollar projects, and you're not looking at the newspaper to find those here. Go to the web and do that by the millions. Okay, thank you.
That's correct.
Right. All right, anything else?
That concludes my report, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move on to Human Services Committee report. We have a number of items. The first one is under Community Health and Environmental Services. Consider recommending the county board authorize the maternal, infant, and early childhood home visiting expansion grant project agreement with the Minnesota Department of Health in the amount of $363,750, extending the term through January 31st, 2016, pending review and approval of the county attorney's office. And I would move approval.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Motion carries. Under Social Services, consider recommending the county board issue a request for proposals for contracted case management services for all home and community-based waivers. Is there a motion to approve?
Move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Under behavioral health, we have a couple of items. The first one is to consider recommending the county board amend contract C0003808 with Lutheran Social Services for court-appointed guardianship conservatorship services for adults with a mental illness at a rate of $250 per month from March 2015 through December 2015. The contract maximum increases to $67,490.20. And then the next item is to consider recommending the county board begin contract negotiations with Touchstone Mental Health to establish a facility which will create additional intensive residential treatment services beds in Anoka County. So I know we use a lot of acronyms in human services, and so many times people never spell that out. You'll hear the phrase IRTS, and, there's really a lack of capacity within our area, but certainly in the entire state of Minnesota. So we really welcome this opportunity to be able to create some additional bed space. So I would move items 3 and 4. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next is Resolution 2015 HS4, Economic Assistance Bills and Payments, and I'll offer that resolution. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item is Resolution 2015 HS5, proclaiming March as National Nutrition Month in Anoka County. I'll offer the resolution. The further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Next is Resolution 2015 HS6, appointing Chief Compliance Officer for the Deficit Reduction Act, and I'll offer that resolution. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. And that concludes my report. We're moving on to the IT Committee report. Commissioner Kordiak, I believe you're the vice chair.
Very good. I neglect to think about that fact, Madam Chair, but I was there, and I was looking at this item earlier. I'm kind of amazed at this county. We have lots of people, lots of computer. We save lots of stuff all the time, and we seem to ceaselessly have a need to have additional storage capacity. I think this is one more opportunity for that. This is a disk shelf storage that we're looking at securing. We have,
After you,
Ms.
Commissioner.
Leland is anxious to jump into this. She can obviously give us an informed description.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, good morning. My name is Susan Vreeland. I'm the Director of Information Technology. The purchase before you today is a standard purchase about once every 18 months. We purchase a disk shelf, and that is the equipment that holds all the county's data and files. We typically would make this purchase around the April-May timeframe, but we learned if we purchased at the manufacturer's year end, we'd save about $12,000. So we've brought it forward today with a little bit of savings.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What was put at there were some strong savings in this for what that's worth. Can I move it, Madam Chair?
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second?
Further discussion?
I would just say, Madam Chair, I think we should all delete a lot more. It wouldn't be a problem.
Guilty. I am not
Madam
the best at deleting things. I know that Commissioner Schulte is very good at deleting everything, and he will be very proud to know I went through my email and deleted a lot of things and cleaned things up, but it fills up pretty quickly.
Madam Chair, they do still hang out there on the server, and that's probably in the interest of transparency with the recent national discussion. It's probably okay that they hang out there on the server. We'll buy more server space.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, we do encourage, we kind of do it with the season, so every spring and every fall, we send a little cleanup initiative to our departments, and we do see an impact. I mean, we definitely see a decrease in file storage. The more files we also compress actually helps with that as well, so we are looking at technologies that help with that a little bit.
Fantastic, and of course, we're always happy to save the money, so thank you for taking a look at just changing timing just a little bit in order to realize those savings. Okay, roll call vote.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The remaining items were from information purposes only. I felt pretty routine, so that would conclude my report.
Okay, you're on next, Parks and Community Services Committee report.
Thank you. You have some support near me, Madam Chair, but item number one is regarding Resolution 2015 PRK04, authorizing the Metropolitan Council for a North Area Interceptor. I think this is for Seward Waste, as I recall. They're looking at engaging with Anoka County for 3 temporary easements and 1 permanent one. This is a pipeline that they, for the most part, have today. They are entering upon County Highland, but there are no significant structures that are impeded there. It is serving the eastern side of Anoka County with its waste needs, and they are not repiping, they are relining existing pipes. They simply want to get down there, get in there, and do their work and button it down. I understand that there are very little soil remediation that's required. And my experience with gas, water, electric, whatever, they always do a good job of putting it all back together. You don't even know what happened. Can I move it, Madam Chair?
Sure, the resolution
It's a
has been
resolution.
offered by Commissioner Kordiak. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next item?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think for the most part, we are very happy with our Ramsey License Bureau site there. I think all of us have seen it and been there, and I know I've toured it a couple, 3 times. It serves Anoka County very well. We have had a 5-year relationship with the city of Ramsey. We have a 5-year lease with 2 5-year options, as I recall. This is the first of 2 different option years. I think that that's already structured. There's like a 2% increase in rate each year. They do all of the servicing of the area. They even went empty our waste paper baskets and clean the carpeting. So we have a good relationship. I'm sure we're happy there. I would like to see that we continue that option year, this next option year,
Is there a motion to approve?
and I'll move it. Yeah,
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and
he
seconded.
was preoccupied.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak.
All right.
Motion carries. And before we move on to the next item, just wanted to commend our staff and the license centers. They are doing an amazing job, and, you know, when we look at the passports and the additional revenue that's been generated and just the service that they're providing, I think it has exceeded our expectations as to the number of people who are coming in and accessing those passport services, both at the Blaine location as well as at the Coon Rapids location. So certainly want to thank staff for all of their hard work and effort in making that come to fruition.
And Madam Chair, if I could just piggyback on that and suggest that it comes from the top down. The lead staff, the division manager, department heads, they're all just so focused on the end user, on that customer coming in the front door, and it shows through. I mean, the employees at the counter are so different than they were even 10 years ago. It's a pleasant experience to go there now, and it never used to be. So kudos to not just the feet on the ground, but the staff that's working above them.
Madam Chair, thank you, Commissioner, thank you. And I do serve on a committee with Commissioner Schulte and Commissioner Gamache, and we review that periodically, and they do a really fine job. I think we've seen more things that the citizens have written in to thank us for our services. I appreciate you recognizing that. A lot has happened there. What we used to do 15 years ago is very different today. I mean, you can buy maps and books and learning how to drive and an endless variety of things that we couldn't do before. Selling wave pool passes, and heaven only knows what that's got a lot to do with the management there and the staff that support them. So thank you for that.
Okay, next item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next item is in my backyard. I have to think about this for a moment. But this, if you are all familiar with where Banfield is, and you're familiar with Monoman Park, which is adjoining it, there's a connection point from Monoman Park to the west on the Mississippi there, and across East River Road to the east. There is our East River Road there, a dam there, a lake there, and for the most part, you can walk or canoe from the lake over the dam, down the trailways, underneath the bridge, into the park, and on to wherever you choose to go. And that area has needed some attention. It's it's a narrow channel with water running through it all the time. It's been high water and low water. It's been impeded in many ways. It's not in very good condition today. So we've been working for about 1.5 years to find methods of replacing of repairing the trailway and the riprap and so on. I think it's about a $350,000 project, as I call it. I'm pretty close there, just checked. And this is a component of that, this agreement that we desire to enter into for that Rice Creek stabilization process. This is a grant agreement with the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources that would cover some portion of this cost. As I recall, Legacy is covering the remaining portion. So it's pretty much all grant covered for that $350,000. It's a project that will probably start summertime, and we're ready to proceed and hopefully positive about the outcomes. I'll move it.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Schulte. Further discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Schulte.
While we're throwing kudos out to staff, I really want to thank the Parks Division for making sure that we get legacy dollars back in Anoka County. It seems like many of our projects are funded through the Legacy Fund, and those are our tax dollars that go into that fund. So it's nice to recapture them and get them back here to Anoka County for good projects like this.
Fantastic.
I might comment, it is an area that we want to keep an eye on legislatively, however, because that can go up and can go down and can change. And while we think we are in good position today, in a beat of a heartbeat, things could change, so we need to forever watch that. But it does do a lot to serve Anoka County's parks needs and supplement county dollars that used to go into park systems with legacy dollars which come from far and wide, and everybody's support. So I certainly agree and thank you for recognizing that we need to keep an eye on that, and we're happy to have it.
Okay, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries.
And remaining items are for information purposes only, Madam Chair.
Okay. And you're on again. Property records and taxation, Chair report.
Well, I brought the big guns out there in the back room, but they can stay there, I think. They look pretty content, but Madam Chair, there is the first item is this piece of property that's been coming to my attention. It's in the city of Ramsey, as I recall, it's in the core. It's a small piece of property. I think I got a picture of it someplace there or here in your information. This is an individual, a developer who lost this piece of property or let it go back in the day, and he chooses to repurchase it. It is consistent with our rules and criteria for repurchase. We're glad to get it in private hands. They have been paying taxes again, those kind of things. So I see no reason why we couldn't do that. It's obviously in an area that has homesteads. I presume that it's able for development of a new home. I don't know that for sure, but regardless, I don't know that we have any reason to impede his ability to reacquire that property.
Is there a motion to approve? Commissioner?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Secondarily, I see that we have a housing project that burned in your backyard and mine. They're fairly routine for us. They obviously go through a lengthier criteria. Normally, these things come back to us after almost a year. I think you almost have to make the improvements. Then you can get reimbursed on your taxes to establish that you did make the corrections to the property that you are now in. And these are just two examples of those that were destroyed or damaged by fire, and I will move it.
And I'll second it. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Kordiak,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The remaining items there are from information purposes only, as I recall. Thank you.
Okay, and under committee appointments, we have a number of items. The first is to consider reappointing Robert Lowe as a consumer representative and Jeff Alberts as a mental health professional representative to the Adult Mental Health Advisory Council for a two-year term ending January 2017. The next item is to consider reappointing Jane St. Marie to the Children's Mental Health Advisory and Coordination Council as a community services representative, again for a two-year term ending January 2017. And then consider appointing Dr. Edward Evans to the Community Health Advisory Committee representing District 1 for a term expiring December 31st, 2017, as recommended by Commissioner Luck. And then we have consider appointing Lynn Stepaniak to the Community Health Advisory Committee for Commissioner West District with a term expiring December 31st, 2016. And then for informational purposes, appointment of Cheryl Hanks as the 2015 Community Health Advisory Committee Chair. So is there a motion to approve items 9A through D?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Is there anything else to come before the board? I have just a couple of things. Certainly want to thank Tim Yantos and Marcy Crane for filling in today. Appreciate your assistance during the board meeting today. And also we have a large company within Anoka County, Thor Construction, that is celebrating its 35th anniversary. A large employer in the Fridley area, has been there for a number of years and works on large projects on a national basis, including the Viking Stadium. It's one of the most prominent minority-owned businesses within the state of Minnesota, and we want to congratulate them on their 35th anniversary as well. And if there's nothing else to come before the board, the meeting's adjourned.